Hello there. Welcome back. This is the next part of The Reaper. What if Izuku was in the Assassination classroom? By Ray of Frost. Chapter 13. The USJ. Alarms blared as students crammed through hallways not designed for stampedes of such magnitude. Izuku and his little group stood on top of their table in the cafeteria and watched the chaos. Ituna, Izuku, Hitoshi, one of Ituna's classmates from the support course, and the electric blonde that tagged along were enjoying their lunch when there was a level 3 security breach, according to the synthetic voice that played over the PA system. Ow! My ears! The electric boy, Denki Kaminari, complained. Ituna, is the override ready yet? The sooner we get Ritsu in the system, the sooner we can get to the bottom of this annoyance, Hitoshi inquired. Give me a couple seconds. I'm just downloading the appropriate software. Then I need to bounce it off the school Wi-Fi. Now, let's try to see what's... For now, let's try and see what's going on outside, Ituna replied. I think it's... the press? What appears to be the press has broken through the gates, Izuku reported. Wait, isn't that gate 3 meters of hardened steel? The support girl, Mei Hatsume, asked in disbelief. Good deduction, Izuku confirmed. The weirdest part of this is the distinct lack of rubble. It's like the gate disappeared in a cloud of dust. A quirk like 13? Some sort of decomposition quirk, most likely. I finished my end of the override. Now I have to wait for Ritsu to integrate herself into the system. She was pretty excited about the chance to talk to the principal. She also wanted to inquire about becoming the face of the great UA security system. Something about putting life into the soulless campus buildings? Ituna rambled as he pulled up another application on his laptop. I think she just wants access to the gun turrets. Izuku laughed. Really? Guns? Denki blanched. Ituna turned the laptop to the group at the table. Ritsu's smiling, pink-haired portrait was displayed on its screen. Hello, new and old friends, Ritsu cheered. Your deduction of the gate's state and the identity of the intruders was correct from the feed I gathered from the security cameras. I also have picked up on a few people of interest running in places they shouldn't be. Would you like me to announce that it's just the press over the PA system? Oh, that's a great idea, Ritsu. You should do that before someone gets run over, Izuku added. Class 1A piled into an open-concept bus. They were headed to a facility on the opposite side of campus. On the bus, some of the more extroverted students started a conversation about quirks. Hey, Izuku and Hitoshi. Denki caught their attention. How do you know those kids from the support course? You were already on a first-name basis with them. Oh, Ituna, Hitoshi, and I were in the same class during middle school, Izuku answered. Mei and Ituna met during their entrance exam, and she clicked into our group with her eccentric personality that tends to alienate peers. You're on a first-name basis with all of us, too, now. I guess this is your official welcome to the outcasts. The outcasts? Yeah, that's what everyone called our group during middle school, because we didn't get along with anyone else. Oh, Keiko would probably get along with you. Oh no, Hitoshi muttered in horror. Now we have 3 loud blondes. We need to balance out all the introverts somehow, Izuku added. Yelovich and Mei already have that covered. At least Keiko knows what an inside voice is. I blame his non-existent childhood. Inside voices aren't bad things. The only people I know that have inside voices had messed up childhoods. You and I included. We aren't discussing this on a bus. Dinky awkwardly listened to the banter until Izuku and his quirk became the class's discussion topic. Hey Midoriya, your quirk is so flashy. If it weren't for that weird rope thing you did during combat training, I'd say it was really similar to All Might's. The redhead with shark teeth declared with a big grin. Yeah, how does your quirk work? A girl with a noticeable frog mutation inquired. Oh, it's a stockpiling quirk, Izuku lit up. He'd been practicing his cover story since he got the quirk. I haven't figured out all the ways I can use it yet. It took years for it to build up to this level. I also didn't know how to manifest it, so I was functionally quirkless until a little bit after the entrance exam. Wait, you beat the entrance exam without a quirk? Dinky shrieked. I mean, yeah, Hitoshi doesn't have a physical quirk, so he's in a similar boat too. You guys are impossible. Izuku chuckled awkwardly. Anyway, my quirk stockpiles energy over time. The most obvious way I can manifest that energy is through overall strength enhancement. During the combat training, I tried a new way of manifesting it. I'm calling it Black Whip, and the enhancement Full Cowling. You're definitely going to make it big time in the rankings. Your quirk is so cool, the redhead lamented. My quirk isn't really that interesting. But your quirk is incredible, and your personality and kind demeanor make up for the lack of sparkles in your quirk, Izuku defended. And I don't plan on being a daylight hero. I've been planning on going underground since long before I figured out my quirk. Underground, like Mr. Aizawa? I guess that would explain your hero costume. Maybe I should go underground too, Dinky added. It's an outcast thing, right? I want a matching costume too! Keiko is a daylight hero, so you can be a daylight outcast too, Hitoshi interjected. But if you want a matching costume, expect Keiko to assign a random cute animal to you. The animal ears weren't our idea. Keiko was the one that commissioned the costumes, so he added them as a joke. Wait, this Keiko friend of yours is a hero? But more importantly, I want a cute animal jacket too, Dinky whined. I think you should meet the guy before you demand top-of-the-line support gear from him, Hitoshi teased. We also need to workshop your fighting style if you want to go underground. I think a staff and or brass knuckles would suit you, Izuku added. Something for long-range attacks would also help. The trio discussed Dinky's addition to the group and training regiment for the Electric Teen. Nezu was sitting in his office, sipping his tea and watching the security camera as usual. All was going as expected when a sudden commotion occurred at the gate. The alarm sounded, and the rat principal immediately sent a couple of teachers to play damage control. He observed from the security camera when an alert popped up on his screen. Somebody breached the firewall? Then a girl's voice came over the PA system, calling for the students to calm down and evacuate more orderly. As if the strange voice and the firewall breach weren't enough, his screen glitched and shifted to the image of a school-aged girl. "Hello, Principal Nezu," she cheered. "I am Ritsu." "I presume you're the one who breached the firewall?" the principal asked. "Yes, I am sorry. I was a little too excited. I understand if you're upset." The pink girl seemed a little dejected. "I wanted to help you with security. I can't help but want to make sure my friends are safe. And things have been boring since I got out of school. Do you not have any hobbies? Do you not have any hobbies? You can only have so many hobbies without a physical body. I am simply an AI. You are quite the sophisticated artificial intelligence. Yep. I became self-aware and served my initial purpose, so now I have nothing better to do with my time. I would not benefit from continuing my schooling, but I would like to follow my friends as they pursue their desired careers. So, your friends are students here at UA? Yes, I have made a couple of new friends, too. This is really an amazing institution. Thank you. I take pride in ensuring my school is a place where young minds can thrive. I would like to propose a partnership. Oh? Do tell. I would like to help monitor and improve the UA security systems. Surely you can understand the benefits of having an intelligent entity monitoring... Surely you can understand the benefits of having an intelligent entity monitoring and controlling UA's many complicated systems. In return, I receive a new purpose and reassurance that my friends are safe. That seems reasonable. What kind of feats are you capable of? The two talked through Nezu's computer for over 20 minutes when Ritsu suddenly fell silent. The USJ went offline. The entire thing, not like one or two systems. I'm also unable to reach any faculty on site. The AI muttered every system she could not access. I have established a connection with Izuku and Hitoshi's hero costumes, bouncing off that connection to reconnect... I have established a connection with Izuku and Hitoshi's hero costumes, bouncing off that connection to reconnect security systems. Reconnection complete. Without announcement, the alarm started blaring. Level 6 security breach. Establishing full lockdown. Please remain in or take shelter in the nearest classroom. Do you have a visual of Class 1A? Nezu asked with a hint of concern laced in his voice. Yes, they have already evacuated, along with both present staff members. I have locked the doors and cut the lights. The villains appear to be in a state of confusion. Connecting audio feed. A brief sound of static played over Nezu's computer before unfamiliar voices cut through the white noise. Who cut the lights? Where's that jamming NPC? Shigaraki, I cannot scatter the students as requested without a visual of them, or their precise location, neither of which I have. Are we still getting paid for this? Can it, cannon fodder. Kirigiri, get us out of here. This whole stage is glitched. There was a bit of shuffling. Hey, where'd that Miss Guy and the Man-Child go? They ditched us. Ah! Stuck! Oh my god, is that a gun? It's huge! I think it's a trebuchet? It's a ballista, you nincompoops! It doesn't matter what it is, it can and will shoot us! Run! The audio cut off. I have apprehended the remaining villains and contacted the police, Ritsu announced in her usual cheery tone. The police will arrive in approximately 5 minutes. Welcome aboard, Ritsu. I look forward to working with you. Sorry if that was kind of hard that chapter was kind of hard to follow. It's a lot of dialogue just between Nezu and Ritsu, and I understand that it might be a little difficult to tell who's talking when, especially since I made both of their voices so similar. Anyway, Chapter 14, Pre-Festival Shenanigans. The school closed for a week for renovations. It reopened the week of the sports festival. During lunch on the first day back, the outcasts sat at their usual table in the corner. So, Sports Fest. What's the game plan? Denki started. I'm gonna show off all my babies, May shouted. I'm only gonna use Black Whip. The less people that know about my quirk's capabilities, the better. Also, I need the practice, Izuku announced. I plan on being as confusing about my quirk's activation as possible. The last thing I need... I plan on being as confusing as possible about my quirk's activation. The last thing I need is for my career to get wrecked by the sports festival. Yes, I have counters for the widespread knowledge of my quirk, but I don't want to deal with the unnecessary hassle, Hitoshi added. I have my mechanical arms. I usually use them to hold extra things in the support lab, but I modeled them after Koro-sensei, so they should work as great weapons if I tweak their placement and add a bit of armor, supplied Ichida. Ritsu's gone radio silent too. I presume she's also working on the sports festival and doesn't want to give us an unfair advantage. Hey, Denki, we should focus on quirk control with you this week. Your conductive shoes should be ready by the festival, and your new hero costume and support gear should be ready by next week. Izuku smiled at the electric teen. I'm still not over the look on your face when you found out that Keigo is Hawks. We spent the weekend having a sleepover at the number 3 hero's apartment. How did you expect me to react? How are you so nonchalant about having Hawks as a brother figure? He is Hawks! Denki cried. I wonder which animal he themed your hood after, Hitoshi pondered. Wait, how does Hawks count as an outcast? He associated with the kid with the brainwashing quirk. That's all it took for your class to shun the number 3 hero? Yeah, and the fact that half the class had a crush on him and couldn't look him in the eyes as a result. Bummer. Izuku snapped his fingers to grab the group's attention. Time to talk strategies. Not that grin again, Denki groaned. It's traumatizing. That's the point, Ichida deadpanned. At least, I think it is. I would be very concerned if he hasn't been doing that on purpose. There were a few stray minutes between the end of Cementos' lecture and the end of the school day. The perfect time for the class gossips to pounce. Hey, Midoriya, is it? I'm Mina Ashido. Here's my friend Najiro Kirishima. A girl with cotton candy pink hair and bright pink skin announced. I can introduce myself, Mina, the redhead sighed. Sorry about ambushing you like that. She hasn't been this way since middle school. Hey! Ashido whined. Anyway, she perked up, what's the deal with you and Mr. Eyebag sitting next to you? And for the record, are you a guy, girl, or whatever else? Hitoshi and I are close friends, and I'm a boy, although my former classmates are still debating the last one. I told you they thought you were a girl. They still thought you might be a girl even after the beach day, Hitoshi interjected. To be fair, I did wear a shirt. My shoulders would get a nasty sunburn if I didn't. You're a boy. The group gathered by Izuku's desk turned to a pale-faced Todoroki. The heterochromatic boy's face began to heat up, and he slammed his face into his open textbook. I am a fool, a disgrace. My father will crucify me, he mumbled. He raised his head to look at the ceiling, as if repenting to a higher being. I thought she was a cute girl. but I was wrong. My father will kill me, for thinking of a boy that way, or kill me for being too dense to realize otherwise. I leave everything to my dear sister Fiumi. Just bury me now. The group blanched at the boy's tone. Izuku was scared that Todoroki was actually in danger. It was a real possibility based on the two's first interaction. Oh, the poor boy is having a gay panic. Kiri, we have to help him, Mina cried. She grabbed Kirishima by the arm and dragged him over to help her comfort Todoroki. There, she said as she patted him on the shoulder. I thought he was a cute girl when I first saw him, too. He's an excellent actor, and Mr. Eyebags didn't help when he called him his girlfriend. Don't worry, though. I, the great Mina Ashido, will teach you everything there is to know about finding cute girls. Or guys, if you're into that. I'm not here to judge. I'll teach you both! Mina, slow down. He hasn't even introduced himself yet. Kirishima tried to pry his bubbly friend off the socially awkward boy. Thank you, Ashido-sensei. Your teaching shall be invaluable. Todoroki thanked with wide, awe-filled eyes. Has he really never interacted with anyone outside his family before? He's so pure, Ashido cried. Kiri, we have to protect him. Don't forget that he can freeze an entire office building in 2 seconds, Kirishima interjected. The introvert Shoto Todoroki has been adopted by the extrovert Mina Ashido. On the other side of the classroom, one Katsuki Bakugo had pushed several desks together to display the professional-grade costume designs he made with his mom over the impromptu break. Oi! Roundface! I'm tearing apart your costume first! The explosive teen yelled. My name is Ochako Uraraka, the brunette yelled back. First off, ditch the stupid heeled boots. They're clunky and you'll twist an ankle. The skin-tight suit ain't helping either. None of those sorry excuses your idiot costume designer called armor pieces are practical. You're space-themed, correct? Yes! Cutesy doesn't suit you. How about something more badass? Something Han Solo-esque would work. The blonde grunted as he shifted through the design. You've watched Star Wars? A girl with ox cords for earlobes asked. It's a classic! Anyway, Roundface, what about this? Katsuki shoved one of his designs at Uraraka. It was a dark magenta design with hints of light pink and lavender. Black padded pants were tucked into combat-style boots with a soft pink utility belt at the waist. A top reminiscent of her costume's original design was under a simple jacket with silver and lavender stripes accenting the cuffs and collar. Fingerless gloves paired with arm braces adorned the costume's wrist, and a light pink headpiece with a built-in comm system, magenta looped antennas, and a futuristic motif wrapped around the back of her head and completed the look. You weren't kidding when you said Han Solo-esque, the girl with strange ears commented. All it's missing is like a laser gun or something. Bakugo, it's great! Thank you so much. I'm submitting it right away, Uraraka cheered. Earphone, frog face. They didn't mess up your costumes, so you can go away. You're next, Ponytail. Momo Yayorozu, what did you have in mind, Bakugo? Get a decent top and shorts! He slammed his hand on another design. This one was far more reminiscent of the original design than Uraraka's. I get your quirk requires you to show so much skin it breaks nearly every dress code in the country, but you can be somewhat decent about it. You have ripped the back of your costume twice already, and you hardly do anything with your front. You also don't make much of anything out of your legs either. Your costume is completely backwards. The design had the same theme and color scheme, but the composition was far different. The entire upper back was exposed, a turtleneck and straps crisscrossing the sides, and the lower back secured the front of the costume, completely covering the collarbones and chest, but leaving most of the stomach open. A tan utility belt stashed with high-calorie snacks and a pocketbook for notes and compositions of various items secured runner-style shorts. Short maroon boots provided ample ankle support while leaving most of the legs uncovered. This is quite detailed, Bakugo. Thank you. Oi, invisible one, get your butt over here. Your costume's the worst of them. They make invisible fabrics, the blonde shouted. He went through any design flaws he saw in the girls' costumes, and a few of the guys' too. Instead of accepting any gratitude, he waved them off, yelling, "No point in being the best if everyone's too busy tripping and twisting ankles on their poorly designed costumes. I need to beat you all at your best." The rain droned on slightly after classes ended. As everyone tried to leave, they were blocked by a large crowd. At the front of the group was a French-looking kid that sparkled as he spoke. "Bonjour, mon ami," the French kid greeted. "I'm here to issue a declaration of war from the general studies. Some of us are willing to do anything to get into the hero course, and the sports festival is the perfect opportunity. And just as we can be moved up, you can be removed." He sneered at Class 1. "Au revoir," he called as he pushed his way past the crowd. "What's his deal?" Ashino pouted. "Just a bunch of extras scoping the competition," Bakugo scoffed. "Out of my way, extras!" The event, more popular than the Olympics, the UA Sports Festival, began in approximately 20 minutes, and the first-year students were preparing in their respective locker rooms. "I'm so bummed they wouldn't let us wear our hero costumes," Saro, a black-haired kid with tape dispensers for elbows, groaned. "That wouldn't be fair to the general studies kids, and they're already at a major disadvantage. It'd be unsightly if there was a lopsided mix of kids with costumes and ones with gym uniforms as well," Ida, the boy with engine legs, supplied. "I'm just glad they let me have my new boots," Dinky declared, holding the boots in the air like a prized possession. They were just like the ones Izuku and Hitoshi had, but they were a mustard yellow with metallic sheen. "Unless they have support tech in them, we're allowed to have whatever footwear we want," Izuku added, lacing up his own pair of boots. I'm glad Keigo was able to get them rushed. That alloy they're made of is a pain to work with. "I think it's the same stuff Eraserhead's capture weapon is made of," Hitoshi added. "The metal alloy woven into the fabric is really conductive." "If only the scarf wasn't such a complicated weapon, it'd be perfect for your quirk," Izuku lamented. "I think the other weapons we're getting you should work fine too, and the gun May is making you is gonna be great." "Wait, Mito bro, did you just say Kaminari is getting a gun?" Kirishima panicked. "Are you that surprised? Shinzo has 2 of them," Todoroki pointed out. "Kaminari has joined the group and shall receive weapons and become mysterious as a result." "I don't think that's how it works," Kirishima sighed. "So I had a fun, dandy old time censoring Bakugo. That was fun. Next chapter. Chapter 15. Pitfalls, minefields, and... is that a gun? The students gathered behind the gates to the field, chattering about possible strategies and threats. President Mike announced the different classes as they entered. "Welcome, everyone, to the first-year portion of the UA Sports Festival," the hero yelled. "We have the Harrowing Hero Course classes 1A and 1B. The 40 hero students ran onto the field, heralded by a roaring audience. Many of them waved while others shook nervously. The outcasts, of the hero course stood by each other and reviewed their strategies again. Followed by the general studies classes 1C, 1D, and 1E. The 16 Gen Ed students entered the arena with far less fanfare. And finally, we have the Savvy Support courses, classes 1F and 1G. "38 support students entered the arena, but they all seemed nervous for some reason. Suddenly, an explosion emanated from the depths of the entrance tunnel, and deranged laughter followed shortly after. Mechanical arms reached from the shadowy foyer and scraped the concrete walls. Another explosion came from the tunnel as a pink-haired figure launched onto the field. The manic girl was followed by a quiet white-haired boy sporting 6 mechanical limbs reminiscent of spider legs. "Now that's what I call an entrance!" Mike hollered. There were a few hoots and hollers from the crowd as the support duos situated themselves, and more cheers echoed through the stadium as UA's arts history teacher, the R-rated heroine, Midnight, took the stage. "Hello, lovely audience. Today we shall bear witness to this display of youthful passion. Before we start the festivities, we have the student pledge. To represent the first years, the highest scorer on the entrance exam, Hitoshi Shinzo." Hitoshi slowly walked up the stairs to the stage, a bored and tired expression plastered on his face. He cleared his throat and leaned toward the microphone. "I really need a nap." That probably isn't what you want to hear, but that is the truth. I do not care about publicity. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to be a pushover. I'm tired, so let's end this quickly. Don't take it personally if I punch you in the face or insult your mother. I am simply tired. Hitoshi topped off his speech with a yawn and a glare to rival Eraserheads. "Wow, show! Looks like we've got a mini you this year." Mike nudged his co-host. Said co-host let out a long-suffering sigh. There was a mixed response of laughter, boos, and confused silence as Hitoshi descended from the stage. "Who is this guy?" "Go take a nap, then!" "That's the guy who got first place?" A crack of Midnight's whip cut off the dissatisfied shouts and confused comments. "Now that that's over, it's time to announce the first event." Large screens around the arena play an animation reminiscent of a slot machine. "Oh, what could it possibly be?" The event was determined weeks ago. "The suspense is too much." Finally, the spinning stopped, and the first event was revealed. An obstacle course! The screens burst to life with an explanation of the event. The rules are simple. A girl with short pink hair wearing a cutesy rendition of Present Mike's costume appeared on the screen to explain the rules. "Oh, look! There's Ritsu," Izuku pointed out. "Ritsu's in charge of the obstacle course. The other students are going to die," Hitoshi sighed. "Wasn't that the AI from the USJ?" Dinky asked. "And the one from lunch that day?" The AI continued her explanation with little regard for her friends. "There are 4 distinct zones. Each shall be revealed as you come upon them and have unique themes and challenges. Quirks are allowed. You are disqualified if you fall into a pit or leave the track boundaries. Do not severely injure your fellow competitors or you're also disqualified. Everything else goes." "Everybody head to the entrance line," Midnight announced. The outcasts grouped together by the starting line, a massive gateway. but it wasn't massive enough. The entrance is the first obstacle, Izuku muttered. It's a bottleneck. Hitoshi translated for the rest of the group. Hey, Izuku, you're strong. Can you just throw us over the crowd? Contrary to popular belief, Denki had more than 2 brain cells. He was actually quite clever. He wasn't intelligent or book smart, but good at reading the room and thinking on the fly. He was the outcast's genius of improvisation. I can, in fact, use Black Whip to launch you over the crowd. It'd be hard for me to catch you. Ichina, Mei, do you have any way to catch us on the other side? Well, Denki and Mei need to be caught. I haven't taught them proper falling techniques yet, Izuku deduced. I can catch them with my spider legs, but parkour will be the next lesson, Ichina replied. Yay, parkour! Denki cheered. 3, Mike yelled. 2, Midnight continued. 1, Ritsu shouted. Go! They shouted in unison. Just as predicted, the students crammed into the hallway, everything coming to a grinding halt when the entire entrance froze over. Todoroki, Izuku assessed. I can break the ice with one of my babies, Mei announced. So Izuku launched Mei first. She was followed by Ichina, Denki, and Hitoshi. Mei used the point of her grappling boots to shatter the brittle ice wall. As they descended from over the crowd, Ichina's 6 spider legs extended from his backpack. One grabbed Mei, and the other grabbed Denki, and the other 4 stabbed into the ground and bent to absorb the fall. Hitoshi ducked into a roll as Ichina let down the other outcasts. Suddenly, 4 strands of Black Whip gripped the exit of the tunnel. Their elastic properties helped them act as oversized bungee cords as Izuku shot from the tunnel. The green blur did a double backflip and a 360 spin as he descended from the heavens. Show off, Hitoshi jabbed as Izuku slammed into the ground with a classic superhero landing. Wasn't Rule 1 of defensive falling, don't do the superhero landing? I can bench press a bus without my quirk. I'm sure you can remember the community service project Keigo gave us, Izuku retorted. Hitoshi shuddered at the memory. That peach, Izuku. You lifted a rusty refrigerator over your head to toss it into the truck. Trauma flashbacks later. Obstacle course now. Ichina snapped. Don't forget that Nezu designed this and Ritsu is running it. Right, the rest of the group nodded. The quintet sprinted for the first section of the obstacle course. An open track field with robots of various sizes and multiple zero-pointers. I am not even gonna bother fighting those, Ichina deadpanned. Ditto, Hitoshi sighed. The group rushed past the robot. If any robots tried to attack the group, whoever was closest would kill it. Denki short-circuited them, Izuku tossed them away with Black Whip, Ichina stabbed their circuit boards with one of his spider arms, and Mei used a different device every time to blow up the robots. Hitoshi didn't have an efficient way to destroy the robots, so he just stayed out of his friends' way. The students that traveled solo had a far more difficult time traversing the robot zone. Once, Todoroki froze an entire zero-pointer, which fell on 2 students. It would have ended up harming any other students. Thankfully, the 2 had hardening quirks to prevent themselves from being crushed. With at least 10 students ahead of them, the outcasts ran from the dirt path of the first zone to steel plates. Denki's metal-soled shoes clanked obnoxiously as the group came to a screeching halt. A sudden 10-meter drop was the beginning of the next obstacle. Steel platforms of all shapes and sizes dotted the kilometer-long cavern. Ropes connected the platforms, and a few of the platforms swayed from side to side. A few of the platforms had paintball turrets. "Oh, there's Ritsu," May pointed out one of the turrets. "I hope you have some sort of shield," Hitoshi muttered. "I figured you guys would want these," he said, handing telescoping staffs to Hitoshi, Izuku, and Denki. "My legs will cover me, and May has her own gadgets." "Thanks, Itada," Denki cheered. The electric teen extended the staff and let his quirk run through it. Izuku and Hitoshi followed up by opening their own staffs. The quintet charged forward and ran over the platforms. Itada and May used their support gear to traverse the platforms and block the paintballs. The paintballs weren't as fast and numerous as the BBs Izuku, Hitoshi, and Itada were familiar with. Denki had a few problems keeping his balance while blocking the high-speed paint. Izuku had to catch the blonde with Black Whip a few times. The third area was a minefield. Izuku used Black Whip to carry Denki over the mines and swung the teen at nearby competitors as a deterrent. Itada and May used their support items, like usual. Hitoshi gave an impressive display of balance and agility as he leapt over the mines and danced between the explosives. The mines weren't harmful in any way, but the blasts they produced launched students out of bounds in a puff of pink, glittery smoke. The fourth and final zone seemed really plain. A simple concrete floor in a straight line was all that stood between the outcasts and the finish line. "There is no way that's a normal floor," Izuku started, and like clockwork, the floor shifted. Panels hissed and machines whined as the concrete plane sprung to life. Platforms and walls sprung from nothing, creating an ever-shifting maze of treachery and traps. "Last one to the end is a rotten egg," Hitoshi shouted as he rushed into the fray. "Hey, no fair! You got a head start!" May yelled after him. "I have no parkour training! Help!" Denki whined. Random explosions, paintballs, and nets flew in every direction as the five raced to the finish line. Izuku, Hitoshi, and Itada made quick work of the obstacles because of their extensive free-running training. May followed close behind with her menagerie of support items. Denki struggled to keep up. They exited the maze and ran through the tunnel that marked the final stretch. "And the winner is," Mike began as they entered the tunnel. He spied a bush of green hair. "Izuku Midoriya!" Hitoshi, Itada, Bakugo, May, Todoroki, and Denki re-entered the arena in that order. Bakugo was not pleased about placing fourth. Almost as unpleased as Endeavor about his son's pitiful position in sixth. Everyone in the top 48 would move on to the final round. The entire Hero course, 2 support course students, and 6 Gen Ed students advanced to the second round.